good normal day for Dora the Explorer. She has an idea to save Caillou's life. She says, I'm going to kidnap Caillou's parents to save Caillou. So then Dora rushes out of her room, exits her house, and takes a little bit of a long time to arrive at Caillou's house. Once Dora arrives at Caillou's house, she meets Caillou and his parents. So the two uses as much strength as possible to kidnap the parents and then bring them on. Dora uses her infamous map to find a place to torture those parents. So they do. They just found a random abandoned building. Perhaps an abandoned office space where the door is somehow unlocked. And then Caillou decides on his first move. He says, so Dad, I'm going to use a spin bat. So he gets the spin bat from out of Dora's backpack and hits Dad with the bat. But because the bat has spikes, his dad's body bleeds, from his legs up to his head. After that, Dora says, Caillou's mom, I'm going to use a needle on you. So Dora pokes Doris with her needle, and because of the poke, Doris's hands bleeds and it causes bleeding leak. And Doris says, ouch. So Caillou has an idea. He says, I'm going to use a new knife. So Caillou uses the knife to stab his dad, and as a result it bleeds even more. It leaks. And then Doris says in the final move, I'm going to punch you in the boob. So Dora does so, but before or after that, all of a sudden, Dora's parents and Grandma comes. Doris' grandma says, Dora and Caillou, how dare you kidnap and torture boys and Doris? That's it. Tingle invasive of the venom Hinkle. So the parents of Dora decides to release and unkidnap and let free Caillou's parents. They untie the rope and tie it back in for evidence. Meanwhile, Boris says, Caillou, how dare you kidnap me and your mom? That's it. You are grounded for 10 decades. Let's go back home. So Caillou and his parents goes back home. Dora's mom, Elena, says, Dora, how dare you kidnap and torture Boris and Doris? Let's go home. So the rest goes home. Doris' dad says, Dora, I can't believe you kidnapped Boris and Doris to save Caillou. That's it. You are so grounded for 10 decades. And Doris' mom says, go to your room now. day begins at school. Miss Martin is about to start her math class and says, "Good morning, class. Today we are going to learn math." Caillou then asks, "Excuse me, teacher, can I use the restroom?" Dora does the same. "Me too." Miss Martin replies, "Yes, you may, but please hurry back." So Caillou exits his desk and Dora does the same. They all ditch the school and go to Chuck E. Cheese's. Where Dora says, "I'm ditching the school, so I'm going to Chuck E. Cheese's with Caillou." So they enter Chuck E. Cheese's. Officially, Caillou plays Guitar Hero while Dora plays the plush. After winning Guitar Hero, Caillou says, "Yay, I won this game." Dora also wins and says, "Yay, I won this better." So after playing the games and playing around in Chuck E. Cheese's, the two have pizza. After eating all the pizza, Caillou says, "That was a good pizza." After that, they decided to watch a show behind Chuck E. Cheese's, or at the back of Chuck E. Cheese's perhaps. So they have a good time together. However, it wasn't too long until Boris arrives. And once he does, he says, "Caillou and Dora, how dare you ditch school and went off to Chuck E. Cheese's? Let's go back to school right now." So Boris escorts both Caillou and Dora off, and then proceeds on to Boris's car. Once Caillou and Dora arrives at the principal's office, but Boris is maybe waiting outside, the principal welcomes Caillou and Dora by saying, "Caillou and Dora, why are you here?" Dora replies, "We went to Chuck E. Cheese's." Then the principal angrily turns back and says, "Dora and Caillou, how dare you went to Chuck E. Cheese's that you were said. That's it. You are both suspended for a month. I'm calling your parents." So then, after both kids are suspended, Caillou goes home while Dora goes home. When Dora gets home, Dora's dad, whose name is Cole, says, "Dora, how dare you went to Chuck E. Cheese's with Caillou? That's it. You are grounded for a million years. Go to your room now." And then Dora comes to her room, gets grounded, and after getting grounded, Dora has absolutely nowhere to go. She wished that she shouldn't have done this action and that she learns her lesson. But similar to Caillou, Dora never learns her lesson and was slated to keep on making more trouble in the future, although the world doesn't want any trouble. About the end. After a couple moments After being grounded, or Dora gets grounded, um, Dora at first is asleep and she just wished that she could get out of the house. So she did. She wakes up and decided um, to get out of the house for good. But she has a plan. She said to herself, I'm going to steal my dad's car to get away from my parents because they always ground me. So Dora has a plan. She's just gonna sneak out of the house, steal dad's car's key, and escape. So Dora heads out of the house, makes the way to his dad's car on the street, enters the car, and drives off. After Dora arrives at the jail and is escorted there, the police officer makes his final message. He says, "This is your cell. You'll be here in for a long, 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 long time." And then the police officer is about to leave. But just before he was about to leave, he assumes that Dora is going to stay in jail, but really for a long time. Or perhaps an unreasonable amount of time. Once Dora arrives in jail and the police officer has left, she is thinking to herself that she just made a huge mistake. She has made a huge risky decision. She does never want to be grounded, and being in jail is even worse than being grounded at all. In fact, Dora thinks that she'd rather be grounded than to go to jail. She just does miss her world a lot. Perhaps she feels extremely bored. It looks like she's never gone to jail before. But the police officer is reflecting on the investigation that Dora just helped her friend Caillou, and even commit some killings. The end. One normal school day, the class is in session. The class just got started. Miss Martin says, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to learn math." And then all of a sudden, Miss Martin feels something weird. She says, "Oh no, I need to the restroom. You stay here while I go to the bathroom." So Miss Martin heads to the restroom. Dora says, "I'm going to write something funny." So Dora does so, and after writing, Dora says, "Let's rob a bank." Caillou says, "Everyone on the floor now." Once everyone goes on the floor but Caillou and Dora, Caillou says, "Let's get some money." But in reality, Caillou and Dora is not getting money. They're just pretending to rob a bank. So after pretending, both Caillou, Dora, and even Leo, he just stands near the desk. All of a sudden, Miss Martin comes back from the restroom, not noticing what really happened, except the three invading the teacher's space. Miss Martin says, "I'm back. You three go back to your desk. Okay?" So the three goes back to the desk, and Miss Martin says, "Okay, it's time for math. I'm going to write the math problem on the chalkboard, and I want you to answer it." But just as Miss Martin is about to write a math problem, she just got surprised. She got so surprised that she says, "Who wrote Miss Martin robs a bank?" Leo replies, "It was Dora." Miss Martin replies and asks a follow-up question, "Dora, why did you write that I rob a bank? I never robbed a bank in my life." Dora stands up and says, "Ha ha 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 ha. It was a prank." And then Miss Martin gets more angry and says, "Dora, how dare you wrote that I robbed a bank? It wasn't a funny prank. That's it. Go to the principal's office now." So Dora arrives to the principal's office crying. She sits down and the principal welcomes and says, "Dora, why are you here crying?" Dora replies, "Because I wrote something as a prank." The principal turns angry and says, "Dora, how dare you wrote something as a prank? That's it. You are suspended for 2 weeks. I'm calling your parents." So once Dora arrives home, Dora's home, Alana says, "Dora, I can't believe you wrote a prank at school." Dora's dad, Cole, says, "That's it. You were grounded for a while." And Dora's grandma, Abella, says, "Go to your room now." So Dora returns to her room. She knows that she has been misbehaving, and she's one of the only girls in school that has actually been misbehaving. Looks like every other girl just behaves. It looks like Caillou and Dora has been the most troublesome kids in school. And then that's about it. The end. One normal school day, The class goes on as normal. Um, by the way, it is already English class or reading class, so Miss Martin starts the class. First thing in the morning. It's reading day, or a day where the class starts with reading. Miss Martin starts by saying, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to read a story." All of a sudden, without warning, Dora comes up to the teacher, close to her, and says, "Teacher, you're A." "Shit. Fuck you." And then Miss Martin turns angry and responds, "Oh, Dora, how dare you swear at me? That's it. Go to the principal's office now." So Dora goes to the principal's office. She enters the door and sits down in a chair. The principal is surprised and asks, "Dora, why are you here?" Dora replies, "Because I swear at the teacher." The principal turns angry, while Dora smiles and thinks it's funny. The principal says, "Dora, how dare you swear at your teacher? That's it. You are suspended for 2 weeks. I'm calling your parents." However, Dora continues to smile as she thinks the trouble is funny. After getting home, Dora is now in trouble at home, and Dora's dad, Cole, says, "Dora, how dare you swear at your teacher? That's it. You're grounded for a whole while or until further notice." And then Dora's mom, Elena, says, "Go to your room now." So Dora goes to her room. Now she's really upset of what she's done. Really, what Dora wants to do is to come up with another. Dora feels extremely bored for the rest of her life, and she felt that she's one of the only girls to not behave. In fact, statistically, most girls in the world are behaving, or perhaps more behaving than boys. But this is an exception. Dora eventually falls asleep during the day while the class is going on. But luckily, Dora really hates school, which is very similar to Caillou. And comparing Caillou and Dora's actions, they're pretty similar enough. That's why they just want to be partners. But Dora has already met Caillou all the way back, probably at some point last year. So this means Dora is now in trouble, and is constantly in trouble. It looks like that her days are not going as well as she'd like to, and that her demands are not even met. But Dora could be a different age, or a similar age as Caillou. Alright. But as Dora is resting, she is daydreaming. She's never thinking of homework because although she sometimes listens, but she forgets and really hates doing work. And that should be about it. The end. Or is it the end? normal weekend day. Um, the three adults at Dora's house were watching TV as peaceful as possible. All of a sudden, Dora arrives downstairs to the living room to ask a question. At first, it was normal. It seems normal until Dora asks, "Mom, can I go on a date with Caillou?" And Mom replies, "No, you are too young to start dating." Dora argues, "But I want to meet Caillou." And then Mom argues back, "I said you're too young to start dating and Caillou is the worst kid." And then after arguing a bit, Dora turns angry and she says, "No, I still want to date and that's final." And then Grandma says, "Dora, you do not yell at us." However, Dora really wants to push the limits. She says, "That's it, you're so fucked." And then, after swearing, the adult gets up, turns angry, and then says, "Dora, how dare you swear at us? That's it, you are grounded for a whole while or until further notice. And go to your room now," says Mom. So, after Dora swears and gets grounded, she cries. She returns to her room, still bored. Alright. So the whole time Dora was in the living room, she had a backpack, but there was a logic behind it. Dora always carries the backpack whenever she goes out. This is because she is an explorer. She likes to explore places, especially with her friend or her potential boyfriend, Caillou. But note that the ages are too young, thus they denied permission to start dating. However, Dora and Caillou's dating status is still a little bit mature, but still irresponsible at the same time. So that's about it. Or is it? So as Dora is resting after she gets grounded, she feels extremely bored and doesn't know what to think about. But she now has a bit of anxiety. She's been thinking about every single detail of life, or some details of life, until one of the ideas came up. Unlike Caillou's room, Dora's room never has a computer, but she does not need a computer at this point. But luckily she has a plan that we'll discuss in the next story. And I'm going to reveal it soon. Perhaps for the last 30 seconds. So what Dora is planning to do is to basically steal her mom's iPhone. And she knows how to sneak it and the best times to sneak whenever the parents or the adults are sleeping. Yeah. And we'll get into that next story. For now, that's the end. Goodbye. was just sleeping well into the morning, and she actually feels so bored. So she says, "I'm so bored. I don't know what to do." And then Dora is still bored, thinking what fun should she do? Well, she may or may not be pregnant at this point, but either way, Dora has now gotten a new idea. She says, "Wait, I know. I'll steal Mom's iPhone and play with it." So Dora wakes up, gets up. After getting up, she goes on her way to the parents' room. At first, the parents of Dora are actually sleeping. So asleep that they don't even notice what's going on. So Dora comes into the parents' room, quickly grabs Mom's iPhone, and runs off to her room. Once Dora arrives at her room, she says, "Yay, I stole Mom's iPhone. Now I'm going to sit on this chair and play with Mom's iPhone." So Dora does so and sits down. She then plays music for constantly minutes. She waits for a while, and she loves playing music. She really likes the music, and not only does she do music, but she also plays with her phone on other things. This happens until all of a sudden, when the parents wake up, is Mom's coming. Dora's mom, Elena, suddenly comes into Dora's room after noticing that her iPhone is gone. Mom says, "Dora, I can't believe you stole my iPhone. That's it. You are grounded for 100 days. Go to your bed right now." So after Dora looks up at her mom, Dora thinks that stealing is funny, but it's really not. So Dora hands back the iPhone to her mom, and then she immediately goes back to sleep. So once Dora goes back to sleep during the day, she reflects on herself that she just made one of the huge mistakes, and that nothing should have happened, and that Dora doesn't even know. I'm not sure what even happened, but whatever happened, Dora now feels extremely bored, and now she's just brainstorming on what ideas and what to do. Dora comes up with multiple ideas, but they're equally as valuable. However, Dora does come up with an idea, the final idea. After Dora feels like she's going to the bathroom for a while, during the same day, Dora is planning to poop and sell the poop outside, which is a lot more fun than stealing Mom's iPhone, and it can be wet in the end, I guess. is waking up and about to get ready for the day. It's a weekend, so Dora does not have school. She has a plan for the day. After stealing Mom's iPhone, Dora gets grounded, but she has another plan. She says, I'm going to sell poop samples. So she goes to the bathroom and she says, step 1, poop. So Dora poops as loud as she could and as intense as she could. After Dora poops, she says, step 2, heat poop. So Dora heats up the poop, pouring poop into the 3 cups, putting the cups into the microwave, and heating them up. After heating up the 3 cups, she takes out the 3 poop cups, grabs a stand, places the 3 cups into the stand, closes the microwave, and goes outside. She says, now poops are done. Let's move the counter. So Dora moves to the outside. She stands, waiting for customers. One of the customers come, and Dora asks, do you want a milk sample? The customer responds, yes. After tasting the sample, the customer really tasted poop, so he says, I think it tasted like poop. And then the first customer technically dies. Dora waits for another customer, and she says, do you want a milk sample? The second customer agrees. He says, yes. And after tasting, he also says, I think it tasted like poop. So the second customer technically dies and gets knocked down by the poop. Dora waits for a third customer. However, she is surprised when her parents arrive instead of one of the customers. She gets shocked as Mom says, Dora, how do you sell poop samples and kill 2 people? That's it, let's go home. So the parents take Dora back home. After that, it's about grounding time. Dad says, Dora, I can't believe you sold poop samples. That's it. You are grounded for a while. Go to your room now, says Mom. And then, that's about it. Now, Dora did not even learn her lesson. She keeps doing different actions that leads to excessive grounding. She knows that she should have learned her lesson, but this is way too harsh. It is revealed that the selling poop is on a Sunday. The next day is a school day, and Dora now has a plan. She'll just wait for other circumstances, but her plan is still unknown yet. Alright, and that's about it. The end. The day begins as normal. Dora is sleeping and thinks about something else to do other than school. In fact, she does not hate school at all, or she does, but it might change. So Dora relaxes until the morning before she actually begins to wake up. And after Dora wakes up, she almost changed her mind and it's not the weekend, so Dora should be going to school. Without parents knowing, Dora is planning to go to the living room to her mom and dad and grandma, and actually wants to go to school for a bit because that's what she has to do, not because she wants to do it. She does not want to be grounded, so she begins. Alright, so Dora then makes her way to go to school to avoid being grounded. After Dora arrives at school, Miss Martin greets the class and says, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to read a story." However, it's not a normal day as it is. Dora really asks because she feels like she wanted to use the restroom. So she asks, "Excuse me, teacher, can I use the restroom?" Miss Martin turns angry and responds, "No." "Well, teacher," Dora says. And then the argument begins. Miss Martin replies, "No." "Well, teacher," says Dora. And Miss Martin replies and responds, "How many times have I told you? I said no." So Dora gets up and she argues back, saying, "That's okay, I'll use the restroom here instead." However, Miss Martin still refuses to let Dora into the bathroom, so she says, "Sit back down, Dora." After refusing, Dora is really in an emergency. She actually poops in the classroom, leaving Miss Martin angry and everyone else laughing about it. She poops. After pooping, Miss Martin really reacts so loudly and so intensely, saying, "Dora, how dare you poop in the classroom? That's it. Go to the principal's office now." So Dora goes to the principal's office. The principal welcomes and says, "Dora, what brings you here?" And then Dora replies, "I pooped in the classroom." So the principal turns angry and says, "Dora, how dare you poop in the classroom? That's it. You are suspended from us by calling your parents." Well, Dora is smiling because she thinks it's funny. After Dora gets home, his dad says, "Dora, I can't believe you poop in the classroom. That's it. You are so grounded for 10 decades." Mom says, "Go to your room now." And Dora cries, "Wah!" And so Dora cries into her room. After Dora was grounded, she goes right to bed early as normal because she is so good at what she did. But after that, she's reflecting on herself that she shouldn't have pooped in the classroom and that she should never do it again. Alright, and that's about it. The end. after pooping in the classroom and getting grounded, Dora returns to her bed during the day and sleeps just as early as she could. She feels so bored and thinks about walking all by herself. Dora thinks that she could walk herself and has to stay good because supervision from the parents is not an option because the parents would say no because they want to prevent Dora from going out with Caillou and having fun. Dora also brainstorms about her getting arrested but decides to walk all by herself and take a risk, so that's the final plan. Dora plans on waking the next morning and starting again. One normal day, Dora decides to go on a normal walk herself, all by herself, so that's what she decides to do. She says, "I'm going for a walk." So Dora walks out of the house without parents noticing. Luckily the parents aren't there. Dora sneaks out of the house through the main door and then walks all the way to the supermarket. Once there, she encounters a littered pie and says, "Who could have littered a pie?" All of a sudden the police arrives. After the police arrives at the scene surprisingly, the officer says, "You're under arrest for littering a pie." Dora argues, "But officer, I didn't litter a pie." The police argues back, "I don't care, come with me, now." And then, the two goes into the police car. After the two are transported to prison, the police officer says, "This is your cell. You will be in here for a long time." And then he leaves Dora off. Dora feels so bored. At first, she says to herself, "I can't believe I'm in jail for nothing." And then, after a couple of minutes in the jail, Dora then begins and feels so bored. Then Dora brainstorms about her plan to escape prison once and for all. So Dora does escape prison somehow. After Dora somehow escapes prison, she reflects on herself when she managed to escape. She thinks to herself that she should never see something littered again and stay away from littered objects. That's when she learned a lesson. She also learns a lesson that she shouldn't walk all by herself because she is too young to do so, and that is illegal. And then Dora rests, probably for the rest of the term. So once Dora goes to prison, this is kind of her first time in the prison. Actually, maybe not, because maybe she was arrested for stealing Dad's car at the time. But either way, Dora did went to jail, and she's a bit smart about it. As for the logic behind the police officer not caring, the police officer not only did reckless actions to Dora, but also to both Caillou and Rosie. So maybe that officer should get fired at one point. Maybe the parents would understand, but it's the same officer who recklessly arrests random people for littering stuff wherever's nearby. So that's what Dora already thinks. So either way, the officer isn't doing well, and he couldn't identify which one's the real litter or not. And that's about it. The end. day starts as normal. It happens to be one of the weekends. Dora just goes to sleep, continues to sleep for a while, and once she gets up, she gets out of her bed and says, "What a good day! I'm going to jump out of the window and go to the store, or the general store." So Dora plans on jumping out the window, so she does so. But because she lives on a lower level, she does not need to jump out and fall down. She just jumps out of the window and stays on the same floor, the first floor. So she jumps from that window, gets out of the house, and with her bag, and runs all the way to the store. Meanwhile, the parents go unnoticed. So, she enters the general store and gets an iPad. So she does that. She grabs one. She goes to the cashier. The cashier says, "Alrighty, give me $250. Dora responds, "Here you go," says Dora. "Thank you," says the cashier. And Dora says, "You're welcome." So Dora gets the iPad. Instead of playing it out in the store, she brings the iPad, puts the iPad to the back of her bag, and runs back home. So she gets out of the supermarket, returns home, and plays with the iPad. Notice that the iPad is hidden on the side because the iPad is right in front of Dora, making it invisible over there. But it's really hidden somewhere. Once Dora plays the iPad, she plays for a while. After playing a while in the iPad, Dora asks, and Dora continues playing until the parents arrive in her room to check upon him. So once the parents arrive, Mom says, "Dora, how did you get the iPad?" Dora responds, "I don't know." Dora explains, "Tell the truth or you're grounded." Dad says, Dora responds, "Okay, I bought it from the store." Dad replies in response, "How dare you buy an iPad? That's it. You are grounded for a while." And Mom says, go to bed right now." So, there you go. Dora goes straight to bed. And keeps thinking about it. starts as normal. The morning starts. Miss Martin starts the day by saying, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to learn math." However, Dora and Caleb both feel like going to the restroom. Or maybe not. They're just gonna trick Miss Martin. Dora says, "Excuse me, teacher, can I use the restroom?" "Me too," says Caleb. Miss Martin replies, "Yes, you two may, but hurry back." So Dora and Caleb exit the classroom. Um, and they have their plan. Dora says, "Let's go loving." So the two just go love each other. Meanwhile, Miss Martin is just in the middle of learning math for the class, or teaching math for the class. However, the classroom notices an earthquake, so Miss Martin responds, "What's going on? Is that an earthquake? Let's get out of here." So the class did not know what's causing the earthquake. So after causing the earthquake, and after Miss Martin finds out the cause of the earthquake, the two are sent to the principal's office. And then the principal welcomes the two by saying, "Dora and Caleb, why are you here?" Dora replies, because we caused an earthquake." And then the principal turns angry and says, "Caleb and Dora, how dare you cause an earthquake? That's it. You are expelled for now. I'm calling your parents." So after that, both parents pick up the two kids to their respective homes. After getting expelled, Dora arrives at home, and Elena, which is Dora's mom, she just says, "Dora, how dare you cause an earthquake at school?" And then Dora's dad says, "That's it. You are grounded for life." And then Grandma Obama says, "Go to your room now." So Dora goes back to her room. Meanwhile, back at Kayla's house, they do something similar. After Kayla gets home, Boris says, "Oh, Kayla, how dare you cause an earthquake at school? That's it. We're grounded for life." Doris says, "Go to your room now." And then Kayla cries, "Well," and then he does think to himself that Gilbert shouldn't have caused an earthquake at school with Dora. Alright? So Caillou reflects on himself that he should never cause such earthquake again, and that the school should be still. Alright? And Caillou had fun with Dora at least, but that was too damaging. However, back at Dora's house, Dora's bedroom, he also thinks the same way as Caillou back at their house. Dora also feels sorry about what exactly has happened, and that she shouldn't have caused an earthquake again. Dora understands that her life is likely getting ruined because, similar to Caillou, both characters and both people are in big trouble currently. And then that's it. The end. One regular day, most likely weekend, Boris and Doris is standing in the living room. They have something in mind. Boris says, Caillou and Rosie, get down here now. The kids come there and Caillou says, what is it, Mom and Dad? Boris responds, we are going to Toys R Us to buy Barbie dolls for Rosie. Let's go now. So the family makes their way into the car. Once the family gets to Toys R Us, Boris says, I'm going inside the store to buy Barbie dolls for Rosie while you two stay here. So Boris and Rosie both gets in the store. Caillou finds a teddy bear and sees it. Doris asks, why do you look surprised, Caillou? Caillou responds, because I found a teddy bear that looks exactly like Teddy. Can you buy it? Doris responds, no, because 1, we are just here to buy Barbie dolls for Rosie. Number 2, we don't have enough money. Number 3, you are still grounded for not behaving at dinner and breakfast. Alright, then Boris and Rosie arrives, and Boris says, Doris, we can't find Barbie dolls anywhere. Can you come with me to find it? Yes, says Doris. Caillou, you stay here while I help your father find Barbie dolls. So then, Caillou gets a chance and he says to himself, I'm going to steal the teddy bear. So Caillou does that. And then he goes home right away. It's not too long of a walk. And he says, yay, I'm home with the teddy bear now. Let's dance with it. So Caillou then begins to dance. After the music concludes, Caillou says, oh no, I hear my parents coming, I better hide my teddy bear in my pocket. So Caillou does that until all of a sudden, bam, Mom comes, and then Doris says, let me see what's in your pocket. Okay. And then Caillou gets out the teddy bear, and then she says, Doris says, Caillou, I can't believe you stole the teddy bear from Toys R Us. That's it, you are grounded for 1,000 years. Go to bed right now, and I'm returning the teddy bear to Toys R Us. So Doris does that. About the end. Or is it? Caillou begins to rest again because he feels bored after being grounded. In fact, he almost has nothing to do, but he'll just come up with ways on how to get through his hard times. The end, really. The school day starts as normal. Miss Martin starts the morning by saying, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to have mass. Get out your homework so I can collect them." So everyone else grabs their homework out, except for Caillou. Um, Caillou didn't get his homework out, in which Miss Martin questions, "Caillou, why didn't you bring your homework to school?" And Caillou asks, "Can I please get my homework from my backpack?" And then Miss Martin replies, "Yes, but hurry back." And then Caillou says, "Thank you so much," and he walks to his locker. So he opens his locker, grabs Gilbert the cat from his backpack, and heads back to the classroom. And then once Caillou returns to the classroom, everyone except for Caillou and Dora is shocked because of the cat being in the classroom, which is typically not allowed. Caillou says, "Gilbert, you know what to do. Bite her." And then Gilbert just jumps up to Miss Martin, forces her down, and begins to bite her. Miss Martin complains, "Ooh, ow, oh, ouch, 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 that really hurts. Holy, someone call an ambulance." As Gilbert continues to attack her legs. Once the EMT has arrived, then Miss Martin is finally getting treated. Alright, everyone else is shocked, except for Caillou and Gilbert and Dora. And Miss Martin complains, "Caillou and Gilbert, how dare you hurt my leg? I'm getting rushed to the hospital. That's it. Go to the principal's office now." So both Caillou and Gilbert goes to the principal's office as Caillou is crying. The principal welcomes the two, and she says, "Caillou, why are you here with your pet?" And then Gilbert just runs up to a chair and replies in a different way. He uses some sign language that translates to "I bite Miss Martin." And then the principal turns angry and says, "Caillou, how dare you let your pet bite your teacher's leg? That's it. You are expelled for a while, and for now. I'm calling your parents." So Caillou and Gilbert just waits for the parents to pick them up, and then they're eventually gonna go home. Says Burroughs. He says, "Caillou, how dare you hurt your teacher with your pet? You know you are not supposed to bring pets to school without permission." Caillou says, "But my pet Gilbert ate my homework yesterday, so I had to bring him to school to show proof. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad." And Boris replies, "Well, you should have kept Gilbert away and got your homework done. Your apology is unacceptable. You are grounded for 6 months. Go to your room and never come out again." And then Caillou goes back to his room, and in the end. school day starts as normal. It is a completely normal school day, and Miss Martin greets the students by saying, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to read a story." Caillou really wants to go to the restroom, literally. So he says, "Excuse me, teacher, can I use the restroom?" Miss Martin replies, "Yes, but hurry much." And Caillou says, "Thank you so much." So Caillou runs to the restroom, only to find out that the men's bathroom is actually closed. He encounters the janitor, walks up to him, and the janitor says, "I'm sorry, this restroom is closed. You're going to have to use it later." And Caillou replies, "But I want to use the restroom now." The janitor says, "No, go back to the present and come back later." "Hey, toilet man, I want to use the restroom, please," says Caillou. The janitor replies, "Oh. How dare you call me the toilet man? That's it. Go to the principal's office now." So Caillou goes to the principal's office. He feels shocked, and the principal greets him. "So Caillou, why are you here?" says the principal. "Because I called the janitor the toilet man," says Caillou. So the principal turns angry, and now she says, "Caillou, how dare you you called the janitor the toilet man? That's it. You're suspended for a month. I'm calling your parents." So Caillou waits for his parents to arrive. So the parents pick him up and drives them home. Well, Caillou, how dare you call janitor the toilet man? That's it. You are blunted from the planet for 1,000 years, says Bert. "Go to your room now," says Dora. So Caillou goes back to his room. He cries, walks back to his room. The parents stop flapping, and because Caillou's going back. Once Caillou returns to his room, and he just made a huge mistake. Apparently, Caillou gets grounded on Friday. It is revealed that it is Friday because why not? Just kidding. It's not Friday. It's just a regular day. The next day is not Friday. Yes. In reality, it's only a Monday through Thursday day. This means the next morning after Caillou is suspended, he's gonna need a place to stay while then he goes to work. But Caillou may or may not have a plan, or Caillou has some condition. But either way, Caillou is disgruntled and he feels extremely bored. And Caillou is already grounded for a while. And that is about it. While Caillou is bored, it's about the end. After Caillou and Boris arrives at Mr. Hinkle's house, Boris says, "So Caillou, I want you to stay with your neighbor, Mr. Hinkle, while I work at the office, okay?" Caillou responds, "Okay." Boris says, "See you later." And then Boris drives off to his office. After Boris drives to the office, Caillou is welcomed by Mr. Hinkle. Mr. Hinkle says, "Hi, Caillou." "Hi, Grandpa," says Caillou. Mr. Hinkle says, "Hey, don't call me Grandpa." Caillou says, "Why not, Grandpa?" Mr. Hinkle responds, "Because I'm not Grandpa. If you call me Grandpa one more time, I'll call your dad." And then Caillou is more careful, but he made one of his mistakes while he tries to be careful. He says, "I'm sorry, Grandpa. From now on, I'll call you Mr. Hinkle." And Mr. Hinkle responds, "That's it. I'm calling your dad." So Mr. Hinkle goes on his phone and says, "Hello, Boris. Caillou call me Grandpa. Can you please pick him up?" And then, meanwhile, at the office, Boris did respond to Mr. Hinkle and says, "Yes, Mr. Hinkle, Caillou is so grounded when he gets home." So Boris leaves the office, goes back to his car, and drives back to Mr. Hinkle's house. Once Boris arrives back at Mr. Hinkle's house, he approaches Caillou and says, "Caillou, how dare you call Mr. Hinkle Grandpa? That's it. You are grounded for 1,000,000 years. Let's go home, son." So Boris and Caillou goes back to the car, and Boris drives Caillou back home. After Caillou and Boris gets back from Mr. Hinkle's house, Boris already grounded Caillou back there, so all he needs to say is, "Go to your room now." And Caillou responds, "Wah!" and cries, "Wah! Wah!" as he screams and cries all the way back to his room. So he cries and returns to his room. So Caillou is now feeling extremely bored. He notices that the next day is another school day. It's not a weekend. So Caillou is expected to go back to school. Also, his suspension might have been forgiven or over to encourage the parents and Caillou to go back to school. It looks like after a couple excessive suspensions and expulsions, the parents convinces Caillou that he can go back to school and that Caillou does not want to do whatever. Caillou in fact hates being grounded, but he is grounded all the time and living with a lot of restrictions. So Caillou has a side plan at school, so he will never refuse to go to school because he always has side plans. And with side plans, he means he's gonna get into another trouble. Apparently, Caillou do have a plan. He is planning to pull the fire alarm and let it go off, which is known as a false alarm, the next day. And that's gonna be about it. Alright, the end. The school day starts as normal. Mr. Martin is going to have a math class, and she starts the day by saying, "Good morning, class. Today we're going to learn math." And then Caillou asks once again because he has an excuse. He says, "Excuse me, teacher, can I go to the restroom?" "Yes, but hurry back," says Miss Martin. So then Caillou hurries back. He gets out from his desk and goes into the hallway. However, he encounters a fire alarm switch that is kind of newly installed. So Caillou has an idea. He says, "I'm going to pull down the fire alarm switch since there is no fire." And then Caillou is preparing to pull down the fire alarm switch. He does so, and once the fire alarm goes off, and while the fire alarm goes off, Miss Martin would say, "If the fire alarm goes off, get in line." And then my voice would be too loud as soon as the fire alarm goes off, so my voice would be after it goes off. So yeah. While everyone's outside, Caillou continues to laugh while the rest of the school's people, they just got worried because the teachers did not think that there was time to be a fire drill. And then, once the fire alarm goes off and it's turned off, the principal finally announces to the school through a loudspeaker. She says, "Okay, everyone, this was not a fire drill, nor there was a fire in the building. However, Caillou pulled down the fire alarm switch. You will be sent to my office and be suspended." And then, in response to this, Miss Martin says, "Caillou, how dare you pull the fire alarm? That's it. Go to the principal's office. I'm calling the parents." So Caillou goes to the principal's office. He is welcomed by the angry principal, who knew that he's the one who pulled down the fire alarms. So Caillou sits down and is being welcomed, and the principal says, "So Caillou, why did you pull down the fire alarm switch?" And Caillou shockingly explained, "Because I wanted to prank the whole school." And then the principal gets more angry, and she says, "Caillou, how dare you pull down the fire alarm switch for a prank? That's it. You're suspended for a month. Your parents is on their way." So the two waits for the parents to arrive, and once they do, Doris is already angry, and Doris says, "Caillou, let's go home right now. You are so burned when you get home." And then Doris drives Caillou and Doris back home. Once the three gets home, Doris was, "Caillou, I can't believe you got suspended for pulling down the fire alarm switch. Why would you do that?" Caillou responds, "Because I wanted to prank the whole school." Doris responds, "You do not ever pull the fire alarm switch. Your apology is not good enough. That's it. You are grounded for a trillion years. Go to your room now." So Caillou returns to his room. The end.
a normal day, and right after a drive home, Caillou and the rest of the family all have breakfast. Caillou's given an egg, but before he gets to eat the egg, he asks for, Dad, can I go for a walk? And Dad says, yes. And after that, instead, Caillou is planning to sneak to Chuck E. Cheese's once again by driving and stealing Dad's car. Caillou drives the car to Chuck E. Cheese's when all of a sudden he loses control because he may not know how to drive properly. Caillou says, oh no, I'm about to get in trouble. I need to turn around. And then there's trouble. Caillou is about to turn in the wrong direction and crash right into the breakfast area. After Caillou crashes into the breakfast room, the family was in shock. The egg spilled right at Doris's face, and Doris replies, you miserable child, just look at what you've done to our breakfast. Now I shall have to cook some more. And then Doris replies, Caillou, I cannot believe you stole and crashed right into the dining room. That's it. You are grounded. I'm contacting the police for an investigation. So after Caillou gets grounded, he just examines the whole entire breakfast room, or the dining room. It's more like the breakfast room because the dining room is already in a different place. As you can see, both of the chairs are hidden except for that last one. The table is thrown down, the bush is right in it, and the supplies and food has already been knocked down. The parents are very angry and Rosie is just shocked. Caillou is also shocked that he is grounded and that this is his own mistake. He did not mean to do that though. This was by accident. As soon as Caillou gets back to his room, he is now even more grounded. Meanwhile, the police investigates the accident, and it wasn't only an accident. But not sure what will the room look like in the future. However, the room may or may not be different depending on the damage done. In the meantime, Caillou is just feeling so much and not sure what his next plan is. Perhaps. Maybe just Caillou is thinking of something else. He does not even have a plan yet in place, and will not for a while. He's just brainstorming. The end. It was a normal morning day. Caillou is about to go to school, but he does not want to because he says, tomorrow we have a test and I don't want to take it. I feel sick about the test. And then Caillou feels more happy and has a good idea. He says, wait, sick? That gives me a great idea. And then Caillou returns back to bed until Doris arrives. And once Doris, Caillou's mom, arrives, she says, Caillou, wake up, it's time to go to school. And then Caillou pretends to be sick. He feels kind of sick and goes to the living room. And Doris, well, the mom says, and complains and says, what's wrong, Caillou? And Caillou responds, sick. And then when sick, my voice changes into sick. And then Dora says, okay, measure your temperature. So Caillou goes to the hot water and measures the temperature, only to realize that the temperature that is measured is 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Caillou comes back and says, and nothing. And Dora says, oh no, God, you look sick. You should stay home. Go to bed now. So Caillou goes back to his home, but instead he's not sick. And Caillou says, I can't believe my mom failed birth. Now I'm going to play with Teddy. So Caillou brings out the teddy bear and dances with it. After a few minutes of playing the teddy bear, Caillou hears Mom's steps coming in, so Caillou gets shocked and says, oh no, I hear my mom coming, I must go to bed. And then Caillou reacts quickly and goes, just as Mom is about to enter the room. Doris checks up on Caillou and she says, how are you feeling? Caillou responds, still sick. Doris responds, oh my God, you look worse. You should stay home tomorrow. Do you want soup? No, Mom, I still want to go to bed, says Caillou. Alright, if you want medicine, let me know, says Mom. And then Mom goes away, and Caillou says to himself, that was very close. Now I'm going to play more Teddy. And then Caillou continues on. After a couple of minutes of playing Teddy, Dora suddenly arrives. Caillou gets shocked. Mom just gets worried. And she says, Caillou, why do you have a teddy bear and not resting? And then Caillou responds, because I need to get back to bed. And then Doris notices something. She says, I think you are lying. Let me see your real temperature. So she measures Caillou's real temperature, which is 98 degrees Fahrenheit, which is completely normal. After measuring, Mom roars, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Caillou, how dare you fake sick? That's it. You are grounded for 200 years. Give me the teddy bear and get in the car. I'm driving you to school. So, Mom drives Caillou to school. They both get in the car and go. The moment Caillou gets home from school, and after getting in trouble at school, he is welcomed by his dad, where Dad says, Caillou, how dare you get in trouble at school? That's it. You are grounded for 10,000 years. Today is punishment day. First punishment, eating hot sauce. So Dad grabs hot sauce and forces it into Caillou. He eats the hot sauce, and the sauce is so hot that Caillou says in in the next scene, Dad said, second punishment, eating meatloaf, peas, and mashed potatoes. So both Dad and Caillou eats the food. After eating the food, since Caillou did not like the food, he said, yeah, that tastes bad, which leads to Caillou pooping from his mouth and not the butt. Returning to the living room, Dad says for the last time, third and final punishment, torture. So Dad grabs the knife, stabs Caillou. He says, "Wow! Ouch! Ow! 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 Ow!" And then Dad grabs the hammer and pounds Caillou's head so hard it causes bleeding in the head. And then grabs the saw. And then Dad finishes off Caillou by cutting Caillou with the saw. Alright. After the saw cuts Caillou, Caillou is about to get tortured and says, "Ow, ow, 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 so badly. This hurts so much. I'm about to die. Oh my god. Stop, stop." Alright, so after Caillou gets tortured, he just returns to rest. This time it must be a couple weeks or months or days later because the torture did so much damage to Caillou's body. So this teaches him a lesson, but Caillou's parents is unfortunately that type that really wants to teach Caillou a lesson about the hard way, even outside. In addition to Caillou getting grounded a lot of times, he also gets tortured, which he feels physical pain, and that Caillou feels that the parents are a bit too abusive and that it should stop. Caillou just returns to rest and is just waiting for another event. Fortunately, it is revealed that Caillou just returns to his room recovering from the injuries, waiting for yet another surprise. Meanwhile, Boris is now going to surprise Caillou, meaning Dad is going to surprise Caillou. Right now, Dad is currently buying a gift for Caillou, thinking that Caillou is getting a reward. Dad knows what he's doing, so something is going to happen to Caillou eventually, but I'm guessing that you'll have to definitely wait this out. So then, be prepared for yet one more forced punishment torture, if you're ready for it. And then, there it is, the end. Shortly after recovering from Punishment Day injuries, Gil is faced by his dad, who seems happy. Dad knows what he's doing, and he's happy for that. And then, Caillou is also happy, and he thinks about going to Chuck E. Cheese's. The reason why is because the sign of Dad being happy indicates good things is going to happen. However, this is not always true, and it's not always the case. Dad starts off the day by saying, "Caillou, I got a surprise for you." "And what is it, Dad?" says Caillou. And then, Dad gives out the present and says, "Here, open this present." Just before Caillou is opening the present, he thinks that he's gonna get free money or Chuck E. Cheese's passes or whatever. That's what he's gonna be predicting. Um, that seems ironic that is just about to take Caillou to Chuck E. Cheese's, but in his own mind he says he's not. That's because as soon as Caillou opens the present, um, he gets so shocked because the AK-47 machine gun or rifle is about to shoot Caillou in the air. So the gun constantly shoots the Caillou, and he says, ow, 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 ouch, 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 ouch. After being wasted, Dad grabs the gun, places it away, and starts to dance and says, "Yay, Caillou is dead." And then he starts dancing. After Caillou gets severely injured, possibly after the hospital, he is just sleeping during the day and thinks about what he could have done. He got in trouble at school and gotten 2 rounds of punishments. The first one was very painful, and the other punishment was just a surprise getting shot in the head, which seems deadly, but luckily Caillou kinda had survived miraculously. And the gun was designed to be less deadly than it originally has been, but it's still very painful though. However, Caillou is just thinking to himself of what he should do next, and he really does not know what to do next. So then, here it comes. Okay? Now Caillou has a good idea. He plans to do something with Rosie since he hates her. But fortunately, Caillou does have access to the entirety of the house. The only restriction is basically not going outside, and maybe going places, and that's what he's mainly grounded on. But maybe he's not grounded on something else. That's why he uses the computer often, but the computer seems boring. So Caillou finds another way to entertain himself. Since he's gone through punishment day himself, now it's time for Caillou to maybe punish Rosie and make a punishment day for her simply because Caillou hates Rosie so much. And that's the whole plan for the whole time. And that's what's gonna happen next. Alright? So now Caillou is just bored other than that, and now he is having fun. The end. After Caillou gets up for the morning and thinks for a while, after being grounded and after being severely punished, Caillou has now another plan. He thinks he hates his sister Rosie, so basically, here's what he says. Caillou says, "I really hate my sister Rosie. Wait, I know, I'll punish her." So this means Caillou is gonna give Rosie some sort of punishment day. However, while Caillou is grounded, he can go anywhere in the house as long as he doesn't come out of the house. But because it is legal to go into another room, Caillou does go into Rosie's room. So here it is. Caillou enters Rosie's room, and once Caillou enters Rosie's room. Rosie says, I need to go to the bathroom, meaning she goes to the bathroom. It's a quick trip. While Rosie is gone, Caillou says, now that Rosie is gone, I'm going to smash the Dora toy. So Caillou smashes the Dora toy by throwing the toy out the window. And now Caillou laughs. Ha 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 ha. After a short while, and after Rosie goes back to the room from the bathroom, she notices Caillou there, and Caillou turns around angry. Rosie says, I'm back. Hey, where's my Dora toy? I'm not going to tell you, says Caillou. Come on, where's my Dora toy, says Rosie. I'm still not telling you, says Caillou. Rosie responds, if you don't tell me, I'm going to get my mom and dad. Caillou angrily responds, no, I'm still not telling you. I'm going to kill you if you get mom and dad here. And Rosie had enough. She said, that's it. I'm telling mom and dad. And then, instead of Caillou waiting, he has some tools to overcome the argument. He points the gun and puts Rosie at gunpoint. However, Caillou did not shoot Rosie to death. So he uses a weaker weapon called a knife and actually stabs Rosie's neck, which knocks her to the ground and crying and with blood all over the place. After that, Caillou just stabs Rosie the second time. Rosie cries, wah, wah, wah. Shortly after stabbing Rosie to torture, Mom and Dad just rushly come, knowing something is going on. Mom says, what's going on? Rosie cries and says, Caillou stabbed me. And Boris roars and angrily says, Caillou, how dare you stab Rosie? That's it. You are grounded for 1937 3819278792973697 years. Go to your room now. So Caillou goes back to his room. He gets grounded after stabbing Rosie. Okay. He thinks to himself that he shouldn't have done this again. And now Caillou is getting extremely bored. So bored that he has nothing to do for a while. However, the next day is another special day. And then that's about it. The end. It was a normal day. Caillou is just resting after being grounded. Caillou gets grounded after punishing Rosie the previous day. Meanwhile, in reality, Rosie is just injured extremely badly that the rest of the family is gone in the hospital. But I'm not sure what's going on. Caillou is just alone resting. If he's alone, literally, and no supervisor, then Caillou could have escaped to Chuck E. Cheese's right away, but there must be some supervisor going on. Either way, Caillou is just having anxiety, severe anxiety that he is thinking of something else. He just thinks about getting up and leaving Go Animate City for good, unwillingly. And here's one of the thoughts. In his thoughts, Caillou and Dad goes on the plane, leaving Granite City. Caillou says, "I hope we go to Chuck E. Cheese's when we move." Boris responds, "We're never going to Chuck E. Cheese's. Since we left Granite City, we are heading to Vyond City." And then the plane continues as normal while Caillou's crying and Dad is angry. Okay? And then the plane is not lasting forever, so once the plane lands, the entire family will go to the baggage claim. Speaking of family, Mom and Rosie is on the other side of the plane, where it's never seen in the camera. The camera only sees one side. The entire family goes to the baggage claim along with the passengers that was on the same plane. They claim their bags. And once the entire family claims their bags, they just decide to go in the apartment and move for good. They move into the apartment because it was cheap and convenient. And once they move to the apartment, Dad and Caillou goes to the living room, both of which are angry. Caillou's angry and says, "Dad, I really want to go to Chuck E. Cheese's, or else I'm going to go animate say myself." Dad replies, "No, you are grounded for 1,500 days. Go to your room now." Caillou is shocked that he is never going to Chuck E. Cheese's and that he is grounded. Okay? Meanwhile, Mom is just cooking some food, getting ready for the first meal after settling to the apartment. Then Rosie goes to the first bathroom trip in Vyond City. She might have never been to the bathroom outside of it, so she just settles in. Back with Caillou. Caillou cries, wah, and then eventually goes to bed in his new room, saying that he is grounded forever and that he's going to feel bored the rest of the time that he is away from going to City and well into Vyond City. And that's about the end of the thought. So basically, this entire thought is not real and it's not canon to this plot. It was only the thought. Back in the canon world, Caillou is just resting and has some anxiety going on. However, he's going to think about something else, although he's going to be resting for a whole while. And then that's about it. The end. Continuing on, after Dora gets the red card and almost gets in dead meat, Miss Martin seems angry and Caillou is even more worse than Dora herself. This because Caillou misbehaves even more. Although both Caillou and Dora misbehaves, both of them, Caillou just behaves in a bad way even more. So once Caillou comes to the front, he's the last of the class to get a card. He gets the black card, he cries, and says, I got a black card. Is there a reason for that? And Miss Martin responds, whoa. Caillou, go to the principal's office now. You are the worst student ever. So Caillou goes to the principal, where the principal is now more angry and Caillou is crying. Caillou sits down with his black card and says, I got a black card. Do you know why? And the principal starts to stand up and roar, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Caillou, how dare you have the black card? You are considered one of the worst students in the school's history. That's it. Get out of the school right now. You're never going to come back. You are expelled." So then Caillou, with his black card, waits for the parents to arrive and then goes home. After driving home, both Boris and Doris, the parents feel angry and Caillou is crying with his black card. As soon as the family gets home, Dad roars, "Oh, whoa, 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 Caillou, how dare you have the black card and become the worst? That's it. You are grounded until further notice. Go to your room right now." So Caillou cries with his black card and goes to his room. The parents now feel happy that Caillou is grounded. Meanwhile, back in Caillou's room, Caillou feels so grounded after getting in dead meat. However, this is not reality, and this is not canon. So then, this was just Caillou's daydreaming while he is really grounded from whatever happens after punishing Rosie and after a ton of injuries related to torture. So then, Caillou feels still beat up and still injured. The previous daydream was basically Caillou moving out of Government City into Vyond City. The next one was basically Caillou getting a dead meat. And then, after Caillou gets in dead meat in the daydream, Caillou is going to be daydreaming still. It's still going to be another school day, and the reason why it's not canon is because it is too unrealistic for two things to happen at once. It's just a daydream of what is. The next daydream is going to get Caillou more expelled or on her suspension. Caillou is basically going to continue the daydream. This also happens to be the time of year where the school year ends for the calendar year. Alright? And then that's about it. The end. Caillou continues to rest and daydream. After daydreaming about Caillou getting a black card, getting expelled, and getting grounded, and getting in dead meat, he daydreams about something else. Another school day. It's test day. It's usually the best day, but not for Caillou. And here's the daydream. The daydream involves a normal school day and a test day. Miss Martin starts the class by saying, "Good morning, class. Today we're having a test." "Excuse me, teacher, can I go to the restroom?" says Caillou. And then Miss Martin turns angry and says, "No, you may not, Caillou." "But I really have to go," says Caillou. Miss Martin responds, "Caillou, we're about to start the test. You'll stay here." And then, after being tired, And after Caillou asking nicely, he stands up angrily and says, "No, I still want to go. Let me go or I'll kill you." And then Miss Warrington responds, "That's it. Go to the principal's office." This is because of Caillou making threats to go and leave the school. This is why Miss Martin refused. Instead of going to the principal's office, Caillou pulls out a gun, holds Miss Martin at gunpoint, and says, "I said let me go or I'll shoot you." "Put the gun down, Caillou," says Miss Martin, which is one of the last words in this daydream. Caillou then shoots Martin, boom, boom, and then he says, "That's what you get for not letting me go." And then Leo reacts so badly and says, "Caillou, how dare you kill the teacher? That's it. Put the gun down and go to the principal's office." So Caillou goes to the principal's office after all. The principal welcomes Caillou. Caillou sits down, and the principal says, "Caillou, what brings you here?" "The teacher was killed," says Caillou. "Who killed her?" says the principal. Caillou replies, "It was me." And then the principal calls Caillou's parents the truth. After calling the parents, the principal goes angry and says, "Caillou, how dare you kill the teacher? That's it. You're suspended for 6 months. I called your parents already." So then Caillou waits for his parents to arrive, and then the parents would drive him home. After Caillou and the family gets home, Dad roars, "Oh, whoa, 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 Caillou, how dare you kill your own teacher? That's it. You are grounded for 10 years. Go to your room now." Caillou cries, "Wah, wah." And then after Caillou gets grounded into his own room, Caillou then returns back to the canon world, the world where everything is canon. However, Caillou killing his teacher is not canon for a couple of reasons. Because if Miss Martin is already killed, then Miss Martin wouldn't exist in the future. But luckily, in canon, Miss Martin is still alive. Caillou is now about to be useful again. This is one of the last daydream for a while. It happens to be the holiday season too. And then that's kind of it. Alright, the end. It was a normal day, perhaps a weekend day because Caillou doesn't have school. Boris is just sitting on the couch in the living room just chilling. Then all of a sudden Caillou comes in the living room for something. Just as normal. Caillou's able to get out of his room after daydreaming for a while. Caillou says, "Dad, can we go to Chuck E. Cheese's?" "No, you can't. You are going to buy a collective Christmas tree because we're missing a Christmas tree," says Dad. And then Caillou spends time outside the house. He starts to get out of the house. Meanwhile, Dad is thinking that Caillou is going to follow directions and get the Christmas tree. Instead, Caillou has a side plan. He comes out of the house through the front door and heads down the Chuck E. Cheese's. He enters the front place and then plays Guitar Hero, where he completes the game. After that, he usually does is he uses the Blue Bunny plush and plays with it. After that, he just enters the playground and explores it. He even eats pizza and finishes the entire box and the entire whole pizza all by himself. After that, he goes on the mini ride, and then he usually ends with just watching something in the Chuck E. Cheese's. When all of a sudden, Boris arrives and greets Caillou. Dad says, "Caillou, how do you go to Chuck E. Cheese's without permission? That's it. You're going home right now, and there's no Christmas tree. You'll be staying home. You're naughty. Let's go home right now." So Dad is gonna take Caillou home and drive them home. As soon as Dad and Caillou gets home, first off, Dad welcomes and Dad roars, "Oh, Caillou, how dare you go to Chuck E. Cheese's without my permission and not get the Christmas tree? That's it. You are grounded for the rest of the year and next year. Plus you have cost confusion and delay, so you are on the naughty list and you're not getting anything for Christmas. Go to your room right now." So Caillou gets out of his room, goes to his room, and gets to cry. He cries because he's on the naughty list, and that he'll never get anything for Christmas. Maybe his best gift would be the cold. Alright? Through the holidays, Caillou is so grounded that he's on the naughty list, he's not getting anything, and that he's gonna have a ruined Christmas. And this is the last one. Caillou feels extremely bored, and now he's out of the way, and that he made a huge mistake. And that's about it. The end.